All right, so now we're going to be doing just the opposite of what we had done. We're going to be dividing whole numbers by fractions. Let's start by doing the do now. Review dividing fractions by whole numbers. So 1/2 divided by 2. I'm going to go over and start with the visual to help us remember what we had done before. So 1/4 divided by 2, we're going to start with 1/4. So I'm going to cut this into 4 equal pieces, shade one of them, and now I'm going to cut this into 2 groups. I can see that each group is going to be getting 1 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 parts. And if you remember the trick, we can look at the denominator and multiply it by the whole number to see that our answer in our denominator is going to be 8, and then the 1 stays the same. So 1/4 split into 2 pieces is 1. Let's try the same with 1/3 divided by 3. We're going to start with 1/3. So we're going to start by shading one portion out of 3 equal parts. And now we're going to cut this into 3 equal pieces, or 3 equal groups, I should say. Each group is going to be getting 1 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 parts. And that makes sense because 3 times 3 is that 9 that we were talking about, and the 1 stays the same. 1/3 split into 3 pieces, should be saying groups, 3 groups, is 1/9. Finally, 1/5 divided by 4. So we have 1/5, and we're going to be putting this into 4 groups. Each group is going to be getting 1 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Which makes sense because 5 times 4 is 20, and the 1 stays the same. 1/5 split into 4 groups. I'm going to say instead of pieces. 4 groups is 1/20. Once again, if you ever want to pause the video, go ahead. I'm just going to keep going just so that I'm not slowing you down. So the other part of the do now is a little tricky. We're rewriting a division quotient, so the answer to a division problem, as a mixed number. So remember, the first number here is our whole number. So we have 1 whole. The remainder is going to be our numerator. It's what's left over. And the number we divided by here, 4, is going to be our denominator. So 1 remainder 2 is equal to 1 and 2/4. Same thing here. I'm going to use the same colors. 7 divided by 3 equals 2 remainder 1. 2 is our whole number, so 2 goes on the front. Our remainder is 1, so 1's going to be our numerator. And we divided by 3, so our denominator is 3. 2 remainder 1 is equal to 2 and 1/3. Let's try it with C. We can see that our whole number, 3 remainder 1, our whole number is 3. We notice that our remainder is 1, so that's going to be our numerator. And the number that we divided by, also known as our divisor, is 3. So our answer is 3 and 1/3. Now if we did 13 divided by 5, it equals 2 remainder 3. We can see the 2 is the whole number, so that's going to go in front. We notice that we have a remainder of 3, so that's going to be our numerator on top. And we had divided by 5, so that means our denominator is going to be 5. 2 remainder 3 is equal to 2 3/5. So our objective today is to divide whole numbers by fractions. This is similar to the last lesson, except for we were doing fractions divided by whole numbers. So we just are switching these, and we're going to see how that changes the answer. I'll be able to do this by drawing models to solve word problems. I know I met this objective when I can divide a whole number by a unit fraction, explain using a sentence, and create a word problem based on the given expression. So let's start with guide to learn. AJ has 1 pound of cake. He gives each of his friends half of a pound. How many friends can he get half a pound of cake to? So let's see, he's starting with 1 pound of cake. So he's starting with one. Let's say he's giving each of his friends one half of a pound. So he's evenly sharing it. So we know we're dividing. And each friend is going to get half of that pound of cake. We want to know how many friends he can give that cake to. Notice you can't have a portion of every friend. You can't say, oh, I'm going to give one half of a friend cake. You have to give 2 friends cake or 3 friends cake. So we know our answer is going to be a whole number. So let's start. We notice that we're starting with one whole piece of cake, and we're going to be splitting this cake into half-size pieces because we're dividing by 1/2. So we're going to split this into 1/2 size pieces. That gives us 1 piece here, 2 pieces here. So we have a total of 2 pieces, each 1/2 of a pound of cake. So that means that we can give this cake to 2 friends. 1 friend, 2 friends. So if we had named the friends, this could be Xavier and Jefferson. So if AJ had brought in the cake, he can give Xavier 1/2 of the cake and give Jefferson the other half of the cake. He's able to share the cake with two friends. Let's try the next one. It's okay if it doesn't make sense. We've got plenty to practice with. Jose has 2 ounces of chocolate. He gives each friend half of an ounce. How many friends can he give half an ounce of chocolate to? So now he's starting with 2 ounces of chocolate. So that's what we're sharing. That's what we're splitting up. He's giving each friend the same amount. So he's giving each friend 1/2. And since we're sharing evenly, we're going to be dividing. So let's start. We're going to start with 2 wholes. We have 2 ounces of chocolate. And each ounce is going to be split into half-size pieces or half an ounce. So we're going to split this in half and this in half. Let's see. Let's count how many half-size pieces we have. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 pieces, each are half of an ounce. So that means that we can give, or Jose can give, all the chocolate to 4 friends. 2 divided by 1/2 equals 4. Let's try the next one. A construction worker has 3 feet of wood. He cut the entire plank of wood into pieces that were each half a foot. How many pieces can he cut from the plank of wood? So remember, you can't cut half of a piece. It's either you cut 1 piece, 2 pieces, 3 pieces. You have to cut a whole number of pieces. So we know our answer is going to be a whole number. Starting with 3 feet of wood. He says he's cutting the entire plank of wood into pieces that were each 1/2 of the foot. So that means that we're making the same exact size pieces. So we're going to be dividing, and each piece of wood is going to be half of a foot. So let's start by drawing 3 planks of wood to represent the 3 feet. And each plank is going to be cut into 1/2 of a foot. So we're going to cut each one in half. Let's see how many half feet of wood we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. So we know that the construction worker has 6 pieces that he can cut from the plank of wood. Now you don't have to write this down. I'm just going to show you a trick or something that we observed in class. So we saw that 1 divided by 1/2 got us 2. 2 divided by 1/2 got us 4. And now 3 divided by 1/2 equals 6. Remember from the previous lesson, we said something about the whole number and the denominator corresponds with our answer. Well, if you notice, 1 times 2 gets us 2. And 2 times 2 gets us 4. 3 times 2 gets us 6. So if you multiply your whole number times your denominator, you get your answer. Whole number times the denominator gets us our whole answer. Just make sure that you're reading the question to know if you're supposed to be answering as a fraction or a whole number. Let's try 4 using that strategy. Nala and Karen are cutting paper to make origami stars. They need 1/3 of a sheet of paper in order to make each star. If they have 3 sheets of paper, how many stars can they make? So we can see that they have a total of 3 sheets of paper that they're going to be cutting up. So we're going to be starting with 3, even though 1/3 was mentioned first in the word problem. So we know each origami star needs 1/3 of a sheet. So each one means we're going to be sharing that 3 sheets of paper evenly. So we're going to divide by 1/3. Let's see, we have 3 sheets of paper. Each sheet is going to be cut into thirds. So we're going to make 3 parts for each sheet. And now we can count the total number of parts in 3 holes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we know that 3 divided by 1/3 is 9. And notice that pattern we had just observed. 3 times 3 is 9. All right, Miss Spencer buys a 4-foot sub for the Super Bowl. If she cuts the entire sub if she cuts the entire sub into pieces that are each 1/3 a foot, how many pieces will she have? So notice we only have one actual number here, but the word form of 4 feet was spelled out. So Miss Spencer buys a total of a 4-foot sub. So that means that's what we're splitting up. That number is going to go first. We're going to be cutting the entire sub into pieces that are the exact same size. So we're going to be dividing, and each size is going to be 1/3. So we're going to do 4 divided by 1/3. Start by drawing 4 holes because we're starting with 4 holes. And now we're going to be cutting each of these holes into 3 parts. All right, let's count how many pieces we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we see that there's 12 pieces. So 4 divided by 1/3 is 12. And that makes sense from that observation we made earlier. 4 times 3 is 12. I'll leave it on here just in case you want to pause it.